What's up, guys? I'm Mike from StockedUp, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. A lot of crazy things are going on in the market right now. Bitcoin flew past $23,000 today. The S&P 500 broke all-time highs. We still have the stimulus deal negotiations going back and forth, and then we have Tesla being included into the S&P 500 tomorrow. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the market right now. In this video, we're going to dissect everything and show what we're watching for the next week or so. So with that being said, make sure you guys stick around to the end of the video. And if you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Tom and I post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, CNBC reports that Tesla Incorporated was upgraded by S&P Global Ratings, putting the company 2 steps away from investment grade after a recent share sale boosted its cash to record levels, which is awesome to see. And you can see Tesla really went up today on this news and the news that they will be added into the S&P 500 tomorrow after market close. And there's going to be a lot of eyes on Tesla with this inclusion. And to be honest, I think it can go either way. And I'd like to see it rise, but I honestly wouldn't bet a lot on it. And it looks pretty risky right now. It's going pretty high to the upside as we're talking in after hours. But I would be pretty scared tomorrow after close holding any type of options on this, just because you don't know which way it's going to go.
Tesla is a powerhouse and they broke all-time highs today, but it's important to keep in mind how Tesla gets very overhyped heading into certain events. For example, Battery Day was so hyped up saying that it's just going to be amazing for the company, and the stock actually fell on Battery Day. A lot of earnings releases for Tesla too, the stock ended up falling. So you just have to be really careful around these types of events. Keep in mind that them being added into the S&P 500 can already be priced in. So just don't just think that it's guaranteed to go up. Of course, there's a lot of risk getting into Tesla right now for the short term. But if you like them for the long term, there's really no wrong time to enter. But the best way to go, if you like it for the long term, would just be to buy a little bit over time, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And then some other news that came out today is that stocks actually closed at record highs, and you can see that the S&P futures here closed at 37.17, which was awesome to see, and they're sitting around 37.12 right now, and that this is just awesome. And the main thing that people are going to be watching for is the new aid package that's going to be coming out. Congress is really working on this, and they're really trying to get this done before the weekend, because the government will shut down Saturday and 12 million people will lose unemployment benefits the day after Christmas if lawmakers do not act on this, per CNBC. And this is really important because Mitch McConnell said that if it's possible, they're going to try to work over the weekend to get this done even. So they're trying really hard to get this passed. But it's just one of those things to where a lot of people are very skeptical because it just hasn't been passed yet. But you can see that even though it has not been passed yet, just the news about it shows that it's going to go up. And this plan is a $900 billion plan that's going to include aid for small businesses and include direct payments and federal unemployment supplement. So there's a lot of stuff that's going into this, and it's $900 billion, which is around the price that everybody was arguing about in the first place. So it's not the worst deal in the world. And I think, honestly, it's just going to depend on what Congress does and it like what's in the bill and how much they're going to fight over those smaller aspects in there.
True. So I really hope we do get a deal. The market would really like that. As we all know, the market hates uncertainty. And, hopefully we just get a deal and, we could get that'll kind of give some backing to the overall market, especially because the market is at all-time highs right now. So hopefully we get a deal sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and then value stock KO actually had some pretty bad news. I mean, it's considered bad news, but it might be good news for the company. Who knows? But they actually plan on cutting 2,200 jobs as part of its workforce restructuring plan, which is obviously terrible for the workforce and everybody working for them. But they're trying to accelerate its reorganization progress in response to the coronavirus pandemic. And in total, Coke expects to spend $350 to $550 million on severance costs. So they're going to pay the people to let them go. They're not just going to straight up cut them and just fire them. And I think there might be some type of laws against that if they're unionized and stuff, but it all just depends. But that's crazy to hear that they're going to be cutting 2,200 jobs. But the thing about it is that sometimes that actually helps the company and sometimes it hurts it. So we'll just have to see with KO. they're a value stock. And if they fall, maybe it'll be a good time to pick up some shares. And another crazy thing is that on my long-term chart, it's sitting right on this long-term trend line, which I think is going to be posing as a pretty big resistance, at least in the short term with this news. And if we break above this, then I would be pretty bullish, at least for the first couple of days it breaks out of this.
Let's not forget that Disney announced a lot of layoffs too a couple weeks ago, and they're kind of exploding right now. And I do know that part of the reason they're exploding is because they had an awesome investor day, so that obviously played a huge role too. But like you said, when they do announce these layoffs and restructuring plans, sometimes it's not always a bad thing for the stock. So I'll definitely have my eyes on KO for the next couple of weeks. But Tom, what's going on with Bitcoin right now?
Yeah, there's actually some really crazy stuff coming out about it. They're sitting around 23,000, and right now they're at 22,639.57, and they've went up 9% today. And this is awesome. And another big thing about Bitcoin going up is that Coinbase is just filed for IPO, which is awesome to hear. So this is going to be an awesome stock once it actually hits the market. I think a lot of people are going to watch it. And this is one that I would really be careful with at the beginning because it might run up a lot, kind of like Airbnb did, and then kind of fall down for a couple of days before coming back up. So I would be a little careful with it, but I think a lot of people are going to get into it and love the Coinbase stock whenever it comes out. I think it's going to be a huge hit with like the Robinhood traders and like the retail traders.
Yeah, and then there's this stock called Riot, Riot Blockchain. It kind of moves up when Bitcoin moves up, so that's another stock just to keep on your radar. In the past year, they went from about 50 cents all the way up to just under $12. So definitely keep an eye on that one too. But with that being said, let's get right into our member of the day. Today's member of the day is Not Sauce. So he made a great post in the Discord chat today saying a quick 15-minute play. I'll take it. Thank you, Mike and Tom. And he made about $169 on Snapchat today. So great job. And this is actually Tom's day trade from this morning. So awesome job and keep it up. If you guys want to see free trades like that, you can click the first link in the description down below. Tom and I post completely free day trades every single morning in that Discord chat. But let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first momentum play is Tesla.
Yep, Tesla, of course. It had to be Tesla, and they're going up in after hours. So be a little careful, but make them break above the 660 level.
All right, and then we have Johnson and Johnson.
J&J, this one's actually pretty hot right now as well. I would make them break above 154 from the other day.
All right, and then we have Boeing, BA, but this one is to the downside.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised to see Boeing going down this much, but make them fall below 220.50.
All right, last but not least, we have HD, and this one's to the upside.
Yeah, Home Depot, make them pop above 274.50.
Sounds good. Well, we're eyeing Tesla, Johnson & Johnson, and Home Depot potentially to the upside for a day trade tomorrow, only if they can break above the levels Tom listed. And we're eyeing Boeing potentially to the downside, only if they can break, or only if it can break below the levels Tom listed. So now let's get into our unusual options activity for next week. We are looking at the Facebook 280 strike call options that expire on December 24th. So next Friday, December 24th. And there was about $6.8 million put into this play. Looking at it, I would think that they're shorting these. I mean, they're only about $5 out of the money, which isn't too bad. And they have a little bit of time on them. But just looking at the way Facebook is moving, I don't like that red candle on the daily chart. I think a lot of it depends on what the overall market does too. Like if we see the market start to fall, I would really think that they're shorting these options. What do you think?
Yeah, and then especially like with Congress and all those people grilling like Google and Facebook constantly lately over all these privacy concerns and different things like with the elections and stuff. I think that could really hurt Facebook and a lot of the social media companies in the short term.
Yeah, no doubt. So now let's get into our questions from the previous episode. With the first question, we have Richard saying, excited about DraftKings for the long term. So DKNG is setting up pretty awesome right now in the chart. Just on a technical point of view, they're uptrending great. They're bouncing off nice support lines, and their all-time highs around $64, and they're only at 55 right now. They're looking pretty solid, especially for the long term. Tom, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I really like this. It's looking pretty hot lately. I actually wish I would have kept my shares from a while ago. Whenever Mike had actually recommended to buy it, I was like, wow, it actually does look pretty good all the way down here. I ended up buying it at like $36 and selling it around 48, or no, selling it right at $50 somewhere up here. But it was right around 50. I wish I would have held up to 55, but it was a good trade anyways. Thank you, Mike, for that one. But an awesome setup. I do like this. They're filling this gap back to the upside. So yeah, I really like this to the upside. Watch for a move above $56, which is this resistance right here. I think that this might pose as a pretty good short-term resistance over the next couple of days. But if we break above that, then I would definitely look for more momentum.
Awesome. With the next question, we had Danny Z saying, is it time to invest in travel stocks like NCLH and CCL? Or should we still wait to see what happens with all of these shutdowns? So, great question. They are starting to pop back up a little bit. If you want to like invest in them for the long term, it looks pretty good in my opinion. Now that doesn't mean that they're just going to shoot up in the next couple months, but they're still pretty low. And personally, I like them only if you're going to get in them for the long term. But either way, they are pretty risky with everything that happened this year. It was definitely a pretty big blow to the travel industry. So you definitely want to incorporate a lot of risk management if you do get in any stocks in the travel sector. It's a pretty risky right now, but in terms of chart, I like it. Tom, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually drawing this long-term trend line right here, and it's actually bouncing off of that pretty good to the upside. I think we could see a pullback over the winter, so like over the next couple of months until spring again, just because I think that the cases are going to start surging, and they have been. So I think that that's going to hurt these cruise lines, and I think that if states do start shutting down again, that'll obviously hurt them even more. And I know a lot of these cruise lines, they don't run just because of the fact that if like one person gets it on the ship, then they have to quarantine like the whole ship and it becomes a big ordeal. So they can't really operate the way that they should. And I think that they might start doing well once this summer rolls around, or the spring. But I think that until then we could see a little pullback. But like you said, it's an awesome long-term area. And you could almost, if they went back up to their pre-illness levels, you could almost double your money on this if you got in at $25 a share and they rose back up to $50.
True. And then we also had Nick M saying another great vid. Can you guys look at NCLH in tomorrow's video? So yeah, so while we're on the topic of it, I just wanted to bring up, Tom, I'm glad you brought up their all-time or their highs before March. I don't necessarily think that they'll get back to those highs in like the short term. Like I think they definitely have the ability to get back to those levels, but I think it's just going to take a lot longer than everyone thinks. But as long as you like the stocks for the long term, just understand that they're risky, and you should be good just buying them because they are pretty low right now. With the next question, we have P saying, Tom, what's your input for MRNA? It tanked today, and I was expecting a run up for the week as they have a pending approval tomorrow with FDS. So, I think he means FDA. So, Tom, what are you thinking with this one?
Yeah, it actually did end up popping this morning and pretty much all day today, which was awesome to see. So maybe they can continue this momentum back to the upside tomorrow as well. As long as this stuff is approved, then they're going to be good. I like this stock. I think the only problem is that sometimes, like whenever they run like this, they just have to pull back. So just keep in mind that, these pullbacks like this are going to happen. I'm not sure that they're going to keep continuing up, or if this was just a little dead cat bounce pullback and they're going to head back to the downside or not. It's going to all depend, I think, on the news and everything that starts coming out with these vaccines and everything. But I do think that for the long term, mRNA is going to do pretty good as long as the virus sticks around. I think the longer that sticks around, the better mRNA is going to do. But at the same time, if mRNA's vaccine starts doing really good and it eliminates the virus, mRNA is not going to be making much money anymore with those vaccines. So, if, it's like they're going up right now on the hype, but then in the long term they could possibly fall once once the virus calms down.
Gotcha. With the next question, we have Jason saying, watch MRVL. It's going to soar. So let's take a look. It does look pretty good right now. Yeah, it actually does look pretty solid. They do have a dividend coming up, so that could be one thing in the short term that can throw it off. But overall, it looks pretty solid. They're actually breaking all-time highs right now. What do you think?
Yeah, this play does look pretty solid as long as it can break above this high, I think again of like 47.25, it'd be an awesome setup. It looks like a pretty nice bull flag today, as long as we can hold up where we are. Hopefully we don't see a drop back down to like 46. I think that would be pretty bad for it in the morning. I think if we hold these levels, then we could have a pretty good chance at popping tomorrow.
Sounds good. Well, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market for tomorrow?
You know, my biggest thing is I think that people should be pretty careful trading over the next couple of days. I think it's going to be pretty risky, especially with the S&P 500. I will say that it's looking pretty bullish to me today. At least it's bouncing off the 100 SMA pretty good. It's creating new highs and it's looking like it's holding those levels pretty well. And as I think as long as that the good stimulus news and everything keeps coming out, it might help the market. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure I'm going to take a lot of positions over the next couple of days. Only a couple, but I think that the markets are going to definitely be pretty chaotic, especially with Tesla's inclusion. They said to expect record levels of volatility, so that could definitely affect a lot of options one way or the other.
Gotcha. Thanks for sharing that. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you guys want to trade the same options as Tom and I every single day, you can click the Stocked Up Options Alerts link in the description down below. And if you guys aren't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe. Tom and I post brand new videos every single day. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. But other than that, thanks for watching.